welcome in. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Alanna. We are, if you don't know me, I'm in upstate New York, and we are going to be doing a best friend chooses my reads for the week. She has already chosen them. So the first book that I did pick up, and yes, it's already finished because I am a terrible reading vlogger. I started listening to it at work and I got sucked in and I could not stop. So, let me turn this a little bit. Is that better? Yeah. The first book that she chose was Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I love this cover so much better than the one with the person on the front. But I did finish this. I have not rated it or anything on Goodreads or Fable yet, but it's definitely going to be a 5-star. I absolutely ate this book up. I adore it. Kingfisher is perfect. He's a 10 out of 10. What a wonderful book boyfriend. I absolutely adore him. I adore Cyrus. Is that how you say it? She is so just sassy and a badass, and I just really love her. I love their like relationship. It's kind of like the enemies to lovers type deal, but it's different in a way. Like they need to help each other. So this follows Cyrus. She is in, I forget which section she's in. I think it's called the third or something. And in her area, it's basically quarantined. You're not allowed to leave your sector. I think it's the third sector. And you're not allowed to leave it. But they are also treated terribly. Like, they get a very, I think 6 or 8 ounces of water a day, and it's like a desert kind of climate. Like, there's dust flying around. They have to wear masks, like face coverings, so that the dust doesn't get into their lungs and stuff. And she basically is kind of a thief, and she has been climbing the wall to go to other sectors, like in the main middle part, and steal stuff. And she learned how to siphon water from the palace type area, where Madra, or Madra, I think is how it's said, lives. She has a younger brother named Hayden, and this older man, Elroy, who is a like blacksmith kind of deal. Her mother was killed, and Elroy took them in, and they don't live with him because they don't want to see a connection between him and their mother. Their mother died. Their mother was kind of sold her body for money. And she was caught transporting weapons that Elroy had used, and she was killed for it. So Cyrus has been working under Elroy's tutelage for a long time, like before her mother died, and she still goes there without anybody knowing and works for him and learns different things. But it's just such a nice, it's a really interesting story. Like, she gets caught from stealing a gauntlet from one of the guards. It's like a completely gold gauntlet, and she was gonna melt it down and sell it to other people for water and food and all that good stuff. And she gets caught and ends up having to go to the palace, and she gets stabbed by a terrible man. And all of a sudden she pulls out this sword that you're not supposed to touch, and the guy who stabbed her, and she like fought him and hurt him so he couldn't get to her very easily, told her not to touch the sword, do not pull the sword out, and she did, and it opened up this pool of silver liquid, and all of a sudden a person comes out of it, and she calls him Death. She thinks, because she's dying, and it's Kingfisher, our lovely book boyfriend. He comes and he essentially brings her through this pool thing that he came through, and takes her into this other realm, and she finds out that it is a Fae realm, and Fae are real, and all this good stuff. And it's just a very interesting story. I really loved it. I ate this up. I can't wait until November because this left off on a cliffhanger and it hurt my soul. It left off, and I was listening to the audiobook, so I didn't really know how far I was. And then it finished, and I was sad because I was very much ready for more. So very much ready for more. But I absolutely ate this up. 5 stars. I love the characters. I love the world building. I love the story and the plot and the relationships. The loyalty between people. I really enjoyed this, and it took me so long to pick this up. Like, I had picked this up a few months ago, maybe a little longer than that, like when it first came out. And I read like the first 2 chapters, and I couldn't get into it at the time, and I think it was just kind of like a reading slump moment. But I decided to put it down because I didn't want to like push myself through it and ended up hating it because I wasn't in the mood for it at the time, or I wasn't in the mood for the reading at the time. And I'm so glad that I did, because I don't think I would have rated it what I did had I pushed myself to read it when I tried to read it before. So I'm very excited that I finally got to this. My other best friend's going to be also thrilled because she is the one who recommended this to me. And then my other best friend picked it for this week's reading vlog. So I'm just very excited to get all of these amazing characters into my heart. But yeah, I can't wait until November. 5 stars. I just loved everything about this, and I can't wait for the next one. So I absolutely ate this up. Hello. The last book that was picked for this reading vlog is The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I have been listening to this one on audiobook while I have been at work. So it's really hard to tell because I'm listening to this one on Spotify, and it says that I'm going to be on track 15, but I don't think that's actually chapter 15 because the beginning few tracks, like 2 tracks, are other things. So I'm gonna guess that I'm on chapter 13 of this. I really am enjoying this so far. It's such a fun little like romance. Yeah, so I'm about this much through this book. I'm really enjoying this one so far. This follows Anna and Liam. They met in college. She was really good friends with his younger brother. He ended up needing somewhere to live for his graduate school, and she needed somewhere to live for her the rest of her undergrad, because in her sophomore year her roommates graduated and she couldn't afford the rent on her own. So one of her friends introduced him to his brother, which was Liam, and they essentially got married so that she could afford housing, because he also needed the housing, and they ended up getting married so that she would be able to afford that housing. And they were roommates. They barely talked or knew each other at all, and when they graduated they were gonna divorce and move on. They didn't end up getting divorced because he essentially was gonna need her to earn his inheritance from his grandfather. Like, his grandfather put a clause into all of the inheritance for the kids that they had to be married for 5 years before they could get their inheritance, like their full inheritance. Like, they've been getting a certain amount since he died, like each year or something like that, and then you'd get your full inheritance when you've been married for 5 years. The 5 years are almost up. They're very, very close to being done. I think it's like 4 months until the 5 years is up. And he is supposed to be going on this vacation to this private island for his little sister's wedding. His parents have been asking about his wife for all these years. They've never met her. They haven't seen her. She hasn't come to anything. Because it's Anna, and they're not actually, like, married. Well, they're married, but they're not married other than on paper. And he has to go essentially ask her to pretend to be his wife for the next 10 days, or 2 weeks, or whatever it is, on this private island with his family for his sister's wedding. She agrees, and we're following them through this whole journey, and right now they are officially at the island, and things are a little awry. His family is not the best. He and his dad had some kind of really bad falling out, like right before he and Anna got married, and they haven't really spoken since, but they basically told him that if she didn't come to this wedding, if they didn't get to meet her, like, they wouldn't believe he actually was married and that he was just saying this and doing this for the money. So she did agree to go, and we're at the point where she's meeting his family for the first time, and she really likes a couple of his siblings, but others she doesn't, and she's very off-put by his parents a bit. His mother's just kind of judgy, but she's, like, nice, but you can hear the underhanded, like, comments and things. But overall, it's been really good so far. I'm enjoying it. I am excited to see where it goes from here. And I really enjoy this. I think it's going to end up being a really good book. I think her writing is super easy to read, and it's like a really nice, it's easy to just kind of get lost in it and not have to really think about anything. So I think that this is a really nice, easy, light read. And it's easy to read. Like, the way she writes is very digestible. So I'm very excited to read more of this. And I like it because this, like, in the book, you can see it's got, like, mixed media type stuff as well. But I'm very excited for this. And I also did not know that Christina Lauren is the combined pen name of longtime writing partners and best friends Christina Hobbs and Lauren Billings. I had no idea that it was two people until just now. Wild. But yeah, I'm very excited to get into these. I also am so happy that my best friend picked this book because it's like very like springy, summery type vibes. And I'm very excited because it's starting to get warm here. I think it's going to be like 72 degrees here today, which is like, I'm so excited for it. So excited. So I'm excited to read this, and it's bringing all the springy vibes with this like lovely beach, private island. So I am very excited to get to these, but I hope that you guys are having a good day, and I will be back with you when I have some more updates. Hello, loves. I'm here to give you an update on the Paradise Problem. I am officially on just about to start chapter 28. Oh my god, I just opened right to chapter 28. That's crazy. So I am this far through now. I only have this much left, so it's probably about a quarter of the book left. I'm really liking this so far. I really enjoy their relationship and it's a contract that they made basically, where she is coming to this island for his sister's wedding, and she's going to pretend to be his wife, like pretend they've been married for the last almost 5 years. And you're seeing them kind of open up to each other and get to know each other a bit, since they obviously haven't actually been partaking in this marriage for the past 5 years. And they're just so cute together, and he's so sweet to her, and you're seeing him discovering some stuff about himself and all that, as well as them figuring out each other. And I just think it's really sweet so far. We have gotten to some more of the spice by this point, and them kind of catching some feelings toward each other, like actual feelings, not just fake ones, which I think is really sweet. And she is telling him about her family, about her dad, because her dad is sick. And he told her about what they're really doing there, like what this loophole clause thing is with everything that he's trying to, with the inheritance and stuff. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a really good time. The writing is so easy and simple and easy to digest, and it's fun and witty, and they're really cute together. And watching her kind of be a part of this family, even though they're a freaking mess. Like, she's formed a really nice bond with one of his nieces, and she really likes his sister and one of his brothers because she went to school with him and he's the one who introduced them and all that good stuff. But I don't know, it's just a fun dynamic, and it's such a fun concept for them to have been fake married for a really trivial, weird reason, and thinking that they got divorced when he knew they didn't, but she thought they had. And finding out that they're not divorced and that there was this whole other aspect to this marriage that she didn't know about. But yeah, I really like it. I'm enjoying the atmosphere. It's on this really beautiful island, and I'm just enjoying everything. I can't really say I don't really like his dad. His mom is a judgmental bee, and I don't really like her either. She's very good at gaslighting and like giving backhanded compliments and stuff like that. So I'm not a really big fan of her, and I really don't like his father at all. And one of his brothers, I think, is just, I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he just is seen as less by his father, so he is just kind of trying to ruin Liam, like ruin his life and make him seem like the better son instead of Liam. And it's just a very interesting dynamic, and it kind of sucks knowing like there's things like this that actually happen where, especially in these rich families, they see one child as to be their heir of whatever their company is or whatever the case may be, and then the other kids are treated kind of less, and well, not kind of, definitely less. And one of them, it causing issues between the siblings and them trying to fight for that top spot, and some of them not even wanting it but having it forced upon them and all these other things. It's just really interesting dynamics. Like, I didn't come from a rich family. I'm not surrounded by anyone rich, and to kind of get an inside scoop, and I know none of this is like based on a real story or anything, but I know like this kind of thing does happen, and it's crappy to like see in that and see those kinds of things happening. But I'm really enjoying this. I think it's a really fun read, and the atmosphere is fun, and just this whole crazy trip is so interesting to me. But yeah, I'm gonna probably try to finish this today. I don't have too much left, and then I will be back with you guys when I have another update. I am back to give you my final update on the Paradise Problem. I did finish this just a few minutes ago. I really liked this. I thought the ending was so good. I think the relationship between Liam and Anna, oh my god, I was just blanking, are really, really sweet. And I think the natural like progression of their relationship, even in this weird, unnatural kind of situation, was really interesting to see. I really loved seeing the intricacies of that, and I think it just kind of shows that you can build something so magnificent in such a really crappy environment. Like, they are in such a toxic environment with toxic people and having a really difficult time maneuvering through all of this, and I think that it just really goes to show how sweet that can be. And I really enjoyed the ending bits of this. Like, the epilogue to this was so long that it was like between both of their POVs multiple times, like in the epilogue, and I thought that was really cool, and it just showed like their lives progressing through each of their eyes, and I thought that was really cool. And I immensely enjoyed how everything came about at the end, and like what ended up really happening in the full conclusion, and seeing a family kind of being put back together with them growing their relationship, and her art kind of taking off, and her dad being okay, and just like all of these things are just, it was a lot, and so just a really good way to, it wasn't like a completely clean ending, but it was as clean as I think as it could be for this family and the relationships within it and stuff to where they were at the time. And I just thought that that was really, really well done. I think I'm going to end up giving this a 4.5. I really enjoyed it. I loved the characters. I loved the relationships and the friendships. I ate up the romance of it. The spice was good. The kids in this were really cute. Like, the relationships that Anna had with some of the like his nieces, well, now her nieces and nephews and stuff was really sweet. And the friendships that she kind of made with the people in this family, like relationships, but starting out it was more of a friendship to her because obviously they hadn't been acting like they were married. But I really liked it. I definitely am glad that I got to pick this up. Another positive one from my BFF. And the last book that we're going to be picking, like the last book that I have to finish for this video, is The Midnight Feast. So I will be moving into that more and giving you guys an update the next time I see you. That'll be what the update is for The Midnight Feast. So the next book that she chose was The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. I have started this. I had to take my fiance's sister to the ER the other night because she had an allergic reaction to something. And I was trying to read it while I was in the waiting room because only one person was allowed to go back with her. So he was back sitting with her in her room and I was just out in the waiting room. But obviously I was in an ER and it was very noisy. There was a lot going on. There was a lot of people. There was a lot of chatting, and me being a nosy little bean may or may not have been distracted because I kept hearing people talking about stuff and I wanted to know what they were talking about. So I'm only on page 14. I think it's going to be good. This is basically, I don't know who exactly we're following. This is set at a place called the Manor. It is a luxury hotel vacation spot and it's up on like this cliff side or this mountain or whatever, and it's surrounded by woods. This is the opening weekend and a lot of stuff happens, but it's basically like an all expense paid trip for a select people who were chosen to come to opening night. Right outside the grounds of the manor is this ancient forest that bristles with secrets, and the local community hates the manor because they are intruding like on this ancient forest, this like sacred area. And not much has happened so far. I'm not that far. I'm literally on page 14. Like, I'm not far into this. But apparently there's going to be a lot of things that happen right toward the beginning of this book. You get a little snapshot. It's like after the weekend, everything that happens here. And there's people in a boat down in the water and they see a fire and it's literally the manor's like ablaze. It's opening weekend. And this book follows what's leading up to that. I'm not very far into this. I am interested. I'm very interested in reading this. I could not get into it while I was sitting in an ER full of people. So I am excited to get to reading this here soon. And I will be back with you guys the next time that I have some updates, and we will go from there. Hello, my loves. I'm here to give you a little update. I am about 52% of the way through this book. Things are really starting to pick up. I really love that this is a dual timeline. So we have 15 years ago, like in the past, and then we have I guess it's kind of 3 timelines. So we have 15 years in the past, and then we have the opening weekend of the manor, and then we have, it's like the morning after the opening weekend, I think. So it's like 3 different timelines that we're looking at, and it's a little bit confusing, but it's also really interesting going between all of them. There's a lot of connections that are starting to come about between 15 years prior and where we are today in this. I do not trust Frankie at all. I don't trust her brother. I think they're brothers. I don't like Hugo. He's sleazy. And the other one is also, I don't even know the other one's name, is also pretty sleazy, I think. Just from like some wording in this, I feel like they did something bad. I'm really enjoying it so far though. I really like the different points of view. I'm liking seeing the change in people, and the manor is a very interesting place. Like, it's like a high class kind of spa type deal, and it's like thousands of dollars to stay there a night or something like that, something crazy like that. But they have all these different festivities that they're doing, and all these, like, this planned itinerary, and each room is, when guests apply, or not apply, but do a reservation, they basically answer, like, send in a bio of themselves, like who they are, what they like, that kind of stuff, so that the rooms can be curated and the stuff can be curated toward the guests that are coming. So, like, when you get into your room, there's crystals for your personality, and just all these random things, and it sounds like a really cool place, aside from the fact that everything goes buck wild. But I'm really enjoying it so far. I want to read some more today and get this finished up, and then I will be back with you guys when I have some more updates. Okay, my loves, it is a bit later, and I have officially finished the Midnight Feast. This was very twisty. There were a lot of different things that came up in this, especially toward the last, like, quarter to third of this book. A lot of different twists and turns were happening. It was just like one after the next, and everybody is involved in some way, and are people from the past that they don't know that each other is that person from the past, which I think is really cool. This is really interesting. We follow multiple people in this. So we get points of view from Francesca, who's the founder, her husband, Owen, a guest named Bella, and then a kitchen hand, a dishwasher named Eddie. And it kind of goes between all of them, and then there's also some littler points of view, like in the more present day, because it's 3 timelines. So you have way in the past when, like, Francesca was young, like teens, and then you have the opening weekend at the manor for this Midnight Feast weekend thing, and then you have the after of the opening. So, like, it's hard to explain without giving anything away, but there's a bunch of stuff that goes on at the manor, and then the 3rd timeline is following what happens after. That timeline of the what happens after is in, like, the point of view of a detective of some kind who also ends up tying back into all of this, which I definitely should have saw that coming, that twist coming, but I didn't. I really enjoyed it though. I thought that it's not going to be anything like, I think it's going to be like a 3. Like, it was good, it just wasn't something, like, I'm not going to really remember anything once I'm done talking about it. It's not something that's going to super stick with me. It was really good, though, and I definitely liked the plot. I liked the idea behind it all. I thought that the twists were really good. The ending was good. There were literally twists like through the whole last quarter to like third to quarter of this book. It was just like twist after twist after twist was coming through. And there were a lot of them that I didn't see coming. But I really did enjoy it. I thought that it was fun. I thought that it was easy. It was a little confusing at bits, going between the past and the present and kind of trying to figure out what was going on. And then, like, obviously I said I was not doing well at figuring out what was going on. But I did enjoy it. I'm excited to read more by Lucy Foley. I think her writing style was very interesting. And I definitely liked that it was multiple POVs and multiple timelines. And it was just like this whole mix of stuff that I thought was very interesting and fun. But yeah, I think it's going to be a 3-star. I enjoyed it and I can't wait to read more from her. But that is going to be our last book for this vlog. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot and I really appreciate it. I just want to grow this lovely community and get more and more of you so that we can all talk about books and things. I hope that you guys stay happy, healthy, and safe. Thank you for any time you choose to give to me. And I will see you guys the next time that I see you. Bye!